Welcome back, everybody. We've got a great show for you with a lot of great information, so sit tight and grab a pencil, always for AM Buffalo for important numbers. With more families getting together over the summer, please make sure you're visiting your loved ones, especially if they're in nursing homes, and do it frequently. It's the best way to check up on their health and their care. And if you're noticing neglect in any way, perhaps bed sores, it is very important to listen to what attorney Jed Dietrich has to say. Jed is the president of the Dietrich Law Firm and joins us frequently on our show, and our phones are open for your calls and comments now at 644-9840. Good morning, Jed. Linda. Always good to have you here.
Thank you. I feel the same way.
You know, and it's true. A lot of people come into town. There's going to be a lot of visiting going on, and we're hoping that, you know, close family members visit all the time when it comes to nursing homes, because people are you know, you're the ones who are going to notice first.
That's exactly right.
If there's any issue with a loved one.
That's exactly right.
To jump in and make it right.
And the Buffalo News has been doing a little series on the nursing home negligence. Today in the editorial section of the paper, there were some comments that I thought were probative, important concerning this area. And I think the important thing to say is that you need the lawyers and the legal system to protect the folks that can't protect themselves. And if there was ever a time that you would want to reach out to an attorney and try to preserve someone's rights, it's when you have someone who's a loved one in a nursing home who may be suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's, or not strong enough to help themselves. I've had cases in the past where I've had people who were not able to verbalize their complaints, and I still was successful in not only bringing a claim on their behalf, but also changing the conduct, the pattern of conduct of the nursing home or the facility. And this can be a hospital, it can be an assisted living facility. There's a problem with the reimbursement and the way these facilities are run, and most of them are for profit, which means if they provide less service and they don't take care of their people the way they should, they'll keep more money for themselves. So there's an inherent conflict of interest with a lot of these facilities. So you absolutely need attorneys and the legal system to preserve the rights of the folks that end up there who aren't treated properly. And when you see a bed sore, I encourage anyone who knows of a family member who's suffering from a bed sore now to reach out and contact an attorney. My office, we handle these cases. We're at 839-3939, and we try to preserve the rights of the person and also change the conduct so that person in the facility, the person who's injured, can get better care in the future, or the people come in after that person who was injured get better care.
And you know, Jed, it's, as we say, the best way you're going to know if there's any change in the care is if you visit often, because a lot of people aren't aware of bed sores, because you might go into someone's room and, like you say, the patient might be incommunicative.
Right.
So the covers are pulled up to here.
Right.
You don't know. A bed sore happens when the skin is constantly rubbing against a sheet.
Correct. It should not happen.
You can't move, and that person needs to be turned. That sheet needs to be changed. That should not happen.
Absolutely not.
And it will actually rub the skin off after a while.
That's exactly right.
And create an open sore. Now, if the person is incommunicative in the bed, they cannot tell you that. You wouldn't know. Now, Jed, the problem is, I would imagine for some people, they might not know how long this has been going on once they see the sore.
Well, we can through physical examination of the patient.
Okay,
absolutely. Good. And we hire experts. I have a number of experts that I reach out toward who are treating physicians in the Buffalo area who will come in on a case like this, either an RN or a nurse practitioner, and take a look. We'll take pictures, and then we'll do a review. And we can show by the pattern of the pictures and the way the wound looks how long it's been there.
Now, let me ask a question, Jed, because this is one that kind of pops into my mind. What if your loved one has expired and you heard about the bed sore from the next people on? Maybe it's the folks from the funeral home who said, did you know they had a bed sore? Is there any way that you can, you know, you have any kind of a way to let the people know or prosecute the fact that apparently they weren't being taken care of in life?
There are many different steps you can take under that scenario. It all goes down to what can you do in terms of an investigation. You have to have evidence. And you'd be surprised how many of the nursing home folks who work there as aides or LPNs are willing to cooperate.
Yes, I would imagine they would.
Because they are part of the system, but they feel badly for these folks, and they're understaffed, and they're working too hard. They're taking care of 20 people, and they should take care of 5, and they don't feel good about the care that they're giving typically. And I've had folks come to me out of the blue, and then under depositions and under oath, tell the truth and say the right thing, because they want the pattern of care to change. They certainly do.
All right, Jed, we have a phone call for you, a comment or a question. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Hi.
My question is, my mom had been in a nursing home for subacute rehab and developed pressure ulcers on her heel. One, she has now, she does have osteomyelitis. It is to the bone. The other one's not as bad. Do you deal with cases like that they're there just for subacute care, as opposed to long-term residents in nursing homes?
And pressure ulcer is just another name for a bed sore. I mean, it's the same thing. It's for leaving someone in a position too long without being turned, without proper padding, and then there are certain bodily fluids that become a part of the situation. Then you get a bacteria problem. So whether it's a subacute care facility or a nursing home or any other type of assisted care facility, there's absolutely a claim to be made in that circumstance. I'd encourage you can contact my office at 839-3939, and we'll investigate the matter and talk to you and talk to the facility, and if so, we'll sue the case and depose everyone and try to change the conduct so the next person along can get better care.
Jed, would it always be safe to take a picture of something like
Absolutely.
that?
You have to take pictures. You absolutely have to take pictures, even if the pictures are to a certain extent uncomfortable for you to actually take the picture. You have to take pictures, and if you suspect these things, you have to get to the bottom of it and roll your loved one over or look at their physical being to protect them in the future. And those are the things that we would use as evidence in a court of law to prove a pattern of conduct which is improper, and to prove pain and suffering for someone. Even though they're not working and they don't have a claim for lost wages, there are significant claims, substantial claims for pain and suffering to someone in that circumstance.
All right, that was a great call. Thank you. And I know we have another one standing by, so we'll be happy to take it. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, go ahead, please.
Hi, Jed. It's kind of a tricky case, but my dad was in a nursing home here in the Springville area after suffering a stroke in November and a brain bleed. And he was misdiagnosed for months with having TIAs, when in fact he was having seizures and was given medications that actually were inducing the seizures, on top of several other things. And then it became a financial reason why we wanted to remove him from the nursing home. And I have nursing home experience, so I'm taking care of him at home. And the doctor, no cooperation whatsoever. They discharged him with no medications. Now, luckily, I had the VA behind me already and in my pocket. And just recently, he's had to go to the VA hospital twice with growing seizures. Now, the last one was a grand mal. It almost killed him. And it turns out that the medications he was on in the nursing home were inducing the seizures. He was put on Ritalin because he was lethargic.
Okay.
So what we'd have to do in a circumstance like that is look at the medical records and have the records reviewed by an expert who would determine if the medication that was given to your father was proper. If it was improperly provided and then there were damages that we could clearly relate to that improper provision of medication, then a claim could be made. And again, I feel for you, for your father. Best wishes to him with his recovery.
And this person should be marking dates down and lots of information so they can help your office out.
That's exactly right. So pictures, dates, names of aides who may be helpful, all of those types of things are very important. Mark it down in a notebook if you suspect abuse, and contact an attorney so we can get in there to preserve your rights.
Yeah, so the important thing is, be a frequent visitor. Go in and be proactive for your loved ones. They may not be able to speak for themselves, but you can, and certainly the folks with Jed and his firm are here for you. They speak for those who can't speak for themselves. The Dietrich Law Firm, you can call them right now at 839-3939, 839-3939, and you can go right to the website, calljed.com, located at 1323 North Forest Road in Amherst. They're working for you.